Alrighty, hello everyone. So we are doing another Summit der Langrisser round of 16 game, this time between Dark Knight and Danjaygerinna. So we have Dark Knight as player 1, Danjay as player 2. In Dark Knight's box, we see 1, 2, 3 tank here. Danjay with 1, 2, it looks like. Ooh, Illustro first ban. Scared of Illustro on this map. That's reasonable. Will be a Landius pick from Dark Knight. There's a pretty good mix of single target and AoE here from Danjay. I think there's not a super consistent kill on Jugler, but Landius is definitely the safer pick. Illustro ban first means that Danjay gets her choice of tanks. In this box, that choice is probably Jugler, right? If you ban maybe the Mariel and the Deedwit, Jugler's pretty safe. Might need to ban the T-Jess. Goes for Rosen and Kruger. Okay. And the ban on Rosen does open up her own debuffs. Hilda's the pick. So I guess she's going to try and ban out the AoE and leave units like T-Jess, Deedwit available on Dark Knight's side, since Hilda can take them pretty well. Dark Knight very likely forced to pick a healer here. He does technically have 3 if you count Licorice. So he could just pick another DPS. He has T-Jess, he has Deedwit, he has Mariel. There's plenty of healing on Dark Knight's side. So if you're looking to ban out healing, that's just not going to work. Bernhardt, T-Jess get banned, both excellent picks to go along with the Hilda, so solid bans. Gonna go ahead and pick up a Leanna. Yeah, the Flow's not really doing anything, because if you pick Flow, then you just get your Bernhardt banned, and then Flow's gonna be less useful than a Leanna. Probably. Flow's still really good, though. Bernhardt Jugler band. Yep, so Danjay doesn't really... If she wants to beat this Landia, she's going to have to pick units that aren't going to beat the Jugler. I say as she picks an Elwyn. Never mind. Still, 2 tanks can be a huge pain to get through. I think she could have comfortably killed the Jugler, though, with an Elwyn plus something. Elwyn plus Rosa would do it, but Rosa's probably going to get banned if that was the case. Yeah, I guess you couldn't comfortably kill the Jugler then. Double healer ban leaves the Rosin. That's surprising, actually. Rosin is really good in this box, especially. Right, Rosin bringing Empire buff for these two. Already buffs the 2 units on the field. And I guess you don't want to give Act again as player 2. That's a good way to get yourself in trouble really quickly. But at the same time, Rosin is really good here. Especially if you're going to go pick a Himiko. Rosin is really good here. Oops, I didn't do my stream command in the Discord. I will do that real quick. Alright. Yep, there's the Rosin. Again, an excellent pick here. I'm really surprised that that was the healer that was left open. Because it also just does very well against a lot of what Dark Knight has available to pick. Right, you don't want to bring single target Ares, but now that there's a Rosin, AoE's not doing anything. Tree Sage isn't going to get any damage through a Rosin. Licorice isn't going to do anything through a Rosin. Bans out Aryan Road and Jugler. I guess Aryan Road is actually Tensei, so that would have been a pretty dangerous thing to let through. But now Danjay can pick up a Himiko, who's always useful. She can lean into Empire and pick up like Helena or Ares here. Ares would struggle with the Tree Sage on the field. Helena would do actually fairly fine though, since you're just going to clear his tiles. And it will be Helena. Tree Sage does get to bring double AoE skill here, since there is Alandius. What does Dark Knight pick here? He really does not have a good option left. He's gonna go Ares. It's just not gonna do anything is the issue. Danjay can pick up Licorice, which is reasonably good. Ares for full Empire, though, is fantastic. Licorice can also be a little bit dangerous with overriding Helena tiles. With exclusive, Helena really wants to always be camped out on her tiles. Because she's basically unkillable at that point. Wonder if Royal Cavalry Helena on tiles lives a single target Ares. Probably not, but it'd be close. It's so much damage reduction. Alrighty. Yeah, so it's full Empire here from Danjay versus mostly less on Dark Knight's side. Personally, I don't know which side I like. I think I like Danjay's side a little bit more. Hilda Rosin, nothing gets through Hilda Rosin. Nothing here breaks Hilda Rosin. There's very few things in the game that break Hilda Rosin. So I think Dark Knight's just going to get completely walled out and chipped down by Ares, Helena, and Elwyn being able to be completely safe because the unbreakable Hilda Rosin is here. We did go to time on skill and troop selection. I hope everyone got everything they wanted. Ooh, it's a Shadow Raid Himiko. Alright. That's spicy. So I don't see any missing skill sets or any obvious signs of someone getting screwed by timer there. Shadow Raid Himiko is basically his only way to beat this Hilda Rosin by just not fighting it. Himiko damage isn't fantastic. Earth Elves kind of suck. You do have Landius buff though. I don't know, do you kill either of these? You don't kill the Rosin because of shrines. You don't... No way you kill that Elwyn. Last Rites here and tiles here. I don't know if Himiko can actually kill anything with Shadow Raid. Even with faction buff, it'll be very hard. 1492 is a lot of attack on the Ares. The rosin is only 5-star from Danjay, but again, it shouldn't matter. Just rosin exists. Oh wait, there's not an Empire buff. Oh, that's not good. Oh, you really wanted Empire buff here. This faction buff, I mean, I guess... So I guess you have Glory buff for these two, and then Tensei buff for these two. But like, you could have brought Rout here and Frontal Assault here. You would drop... I guess you're dropping one of your AoE healings, though. So I suppose I can understand not bringing faction buff on rosin. It's just that it's such a good buff. That's a swordsmith on the tree sage. Why would you ever run a swordsmith on your tree sage? That's so bizarre. But that has to be swordsmith. That can't be any other accessory, right? Or could it be like a... Could it be like a Heart of Gaia or something? What the... I don't even... Because the attack feels a little bit on the high side, but... Not high enough... No, no way that's an attack accessory. No, that has to be swordsmith. Which is just so incredibly weird. I don't think I've ever seen that. Well, anyways. Tree Sage just taking a little bit of... Throwing out an AoE in the middle. Try and take over some terrain. Keep this Ares in check. Keep the Helena kind of in check. The Helena can still actually break really far into this. Helena mobility is insane with exclusive. Everyone just buffing on up. Faction buff on Ares, you do need to be careful. We saw it one time earlier today where someone lost their attack buff because they had faction buff on Ares. Lost attack buff and then missed some kills and then lost the game. So you do have to be very careful when using Ares alongside a faction buff. It doesn't really get anything from Hilda buff either if you're going AoE. Dark Knight seems content to just kind of sit here and chill out. He could have like run in... No, if the Himiko runs in, he overwrites his own tiles. So Himiko actually can't really... Himiko doesn't want to run in because Himiko running in invites in Ares, invites in Helena, invites in Elwyn. That's kind of awkward for him. And the Ares isn't interesting going in because he doesn't do anything at all. So we'll see who's the first to break this stalemate. I think what's going to happen is Danjay is just going to kind of slowly push her way up. Dark Knight really doesn't have any way to do anything about that, other than Himiko yeeting in to try and shadow raid someone. But again, she's just... Those troops are so garbage. She's not killing anything. Those troops are so bad at single target. So who cares if Himiko comes in and shadow raids you? She can't kill a single unit here. So yeah, it's very likely just going to be kind of this slow push forward by Danjay until eventually Dark Knight, can't fall back anymore, essentially. And Danjay finds a good time to pull the trigger. So Ares can actually reach this front line. Just Light Array from Tree Sage actually isn't really that great at stopping Ares, Elwyn, Helena, those kind of units. Because they just have so much mobility, just 2 tiles isn't actually that bad for them to cross through. We do see Gospel No Prayer on the Leanna. So there's not fantastic response in terms of AoE healing. Oh, there goes Leanna's turn. So if you're Danjay, you can engage now and then follow up with Helena, but you're under no pressure to go in. You can just continue waiting until Dark Knight eventually puts himself in a really bad position. Yeah, damage taken down on the Ares now. So you're not killing the Ares, you're not killing the Himiko because of faction buff. So there's really not much point to going in. And she will not. So we just continue the slow march forward as Dark Knight really just can't move at all. Any move that he makes puts him even more in range of everything. Oh, tenuous breeze for the Himiko. But again, the Himiko doesn't want to go in. She's not interested. Because if she comes into Shadow Raid, she can't crit because Hilda's here. As if her damage wasn't questionable enough already. I imagine this Helena is running Bloodsword. So that can definitely be a lot of damage to come out of her. There's potentially no fixed... Yeah, there is no fixed immunity because this is plushy. There's no fixed immunity. No, there is fixed immunity. There's fixed immunity from the Swordsmith Tree Sage. So that's the only unit that doesn't care about Helena Bloodsword. I still don't know why the Tree Sage is swordsmithed, but he sure is. And Dark Knight just gets pushed back a little bit further. Danjay continues to move up. Uncontested. Act again on Tree Sage just to refresh tiles, / throw out a 3C. But again, Tree Sage is very good at delaying your opponent. But if you don't have a way to win, it doesn't matter how long you delay them. And that's what Dark Knight's lacking here, is he doesn't have anything on his side of the field at all that will ever break through Danjay's comp. So he can stall for a very long time with this Tree Sage, but eventually Danjay's going to walk into the middle and then just stand there. And on turn 9, all of Dark Knight's units are going to die to fog. Because he's not going to be able to interact with Danjay at all at any point. Refreshes Tenuous Breeze, just, it doesn't matter. Tenuous Breeze on the Elwyn. So yeah, I mean, this Himiko can come in and she can 3C this entire team here, but she doesn't get any debuffs because they're all Rosin protected. She doesn't do nearly enough damage. Rosin just heals it all off at the start of the next turn, so there's not any point. So the Himiko just stands. And that was basically the one turn where he could have gotten any damage off, because there wasn't crystal healing everywhere. There's only one crystal healing available that turn. Right, just on the Helena, who already has her own healing. So that was the turn when he could have done the most damage, but it still would have been completely irrelevant, so he just didn't bother. I'm really surprised that Danjay was able to get this comp in the pick ban, because this feels almost like the kind of thing you would see in World Arena, where you can just, you know, throw down whatever units you want. At least below gold, I suppose. But this really feels like a World Arena comp, right? Hilda Rosin, so that you can never be broken, and then just a bunch of other good units that are in faction with them. There's 3C, but it doesn't do any damage, doesn't push anyone. These tiles are going to get overwritten by Helena. Who cares? Now your 3C is on cooldown. And I guess you got damage dealt for if you make it to the end of the game. But you're not going to maintain a lead in damage, not with Ares here, Helena here. Yep. Goodbye, damage. Tenuous Breeze on the Ares. 2, 4, 6, 8. He can't actually reach the tree sage with that, even through the entire length of tiles, all 7 tiles. And we just go back to watching Dark Knight end turn. Danjay can't push up this turn since they need to reset Hildegard. But next turn we're going to be back to the slow march forward. Honestly, she doesn't even need Hildegard that much. I guess it protects her from Ares running in and basic attacking a person. I don't know how relevant that actually is, though. Ares is about to be at a point where he can't 3C, though. So if he doesn't go in this turn, he can't go in next turn either. I don't imagine he'll go in this turn, because why bother? If you're Danjay, you're already winning. You don't need to interact with your opponent. You're already winning. You just have to walk to the center and then sit there, and then you will win. 3C. Does some damage. Just kidding. Steals some buffs. No clock, though. I chose to go in and steal buffs the turn before everyone's going to just refaction buff, so it's not like those buffs are going to stay gone for very long. Yep, Ares says, why bother going in? Tenuous Breeze on the Ares. But who are you killing? You're not killing the Elwyn, you're not killing the Plano, you're not killing the Hilda, you can't. Not killing the Rosin, not killing the Ares. Ares is the only one that he even has a chance to kill with his Ares AoE. But even then, as long as there's crystal healing here, it's just not happening. Plain and simple, it's not happening. So at this point, I'm just hoping that we get a slightly more exciting game 2, because this has definitely been a game 1. Yeah, the only way that Dark Knight can win this game is if he can somehow occupy center, but he can't safely occupy center, because if he does that, he starts taking a bunch of heavy AoEs that he's been trying to avoid so far. And if he goes too hard occupying center, well, Ares just pulls him away. And then Danjay moves in, occupies center, and then Dark Knight loses. So it's definitely going to come down to who holds center. I just don't see any way that Dark Knight is going to be the one holding center at the end of the day. So Danjay's not really moving to give herself an easy push forward. Alright, like Ares to here. I guess you don't really want Ares to here though, because then you just invite Ares AoE on everyone. It's going to be hard to move this Hilda up though. I mean, there's attack buff and King's Crown on the Himiko if she wants to try and make something happen with Shadow Raid. Which, I mean, I guess she can do for free because of Sage tiles, I suppose. But like, ugh. You're attacking into an Elwyn. You're attacking into 1k defense Elwyn with Himiko. With guaranteed no crit. Bleh. Danjay needs to start moving towards the center, but she's not. This Hilda positioning's really awkward. The rest of the units aren't positioned to let Hilda move forward very easily. Oh no. What are you doing? Goodbye. What? Was that a misclick? Or was that just a... That's a big oops to make. So I think she wanted to come here in AoE. But she needed to move out of the fog before she did that. That's a really big loss, actually. Because that makes it very hard for Danjay to choke Dark Knight out of the middle. Right, it just became significantly harder to keep Dark Knight out of the middle and then stay in the middle because now, you know, Dark Knight has this uncontested Ares that can pull Danjay out of the middle if she starts setting up. And that's not even considering the fact, you know, considering the damage that Ares would have done by just AoEing from here. So yeah, that's really, really bad. Okay, Elwyn's gonna go in and just attempt to dispel guard here. Try and dispel guard off of the Landius. Hope that you can survive the Ares. You should. I don't know, it's a lot of damage on them. Does not get the guard either. Never lucky. It's a lot of damage on the Elwyn. Are you actually gonna live this Ares if he just runs over and basic attacks you? Because you have to be able to survive the basic attack. Well, you'll live that. This should be, I guess, move to here 3C so you don't get caught in the fog. Might actually still get caught in the fog from there. Well, that definitely keeps the Elwyn alive. So Elwyn's not going to die anytime soon here. Here? No, he's gonna go there and hit the Elwyn. That's not enough. Ooh, Elwyn loses revive though for that. That's gonna be enough to kill the Elwyn. Himiko gets the kill now. This Elwyn's almost certainly dead. We will get to see Helena unleash. See how much this does. I really think Danjay had this game though, and I think she's now lost it. Because she's way behind in damage since she hasn't been hitting Dark Knight at all. And I think losing that Ares is just going to cost her the game. That's such an unfortunate thing to happen as well. Alright, here comes Helena damage. Bonk. That's not a swordsmith. No, his swordsmith got disabled. Bonk. Bonk. And again. Bonk. Bonk. That was a lot of damage for Danjay, but it wasn't enough to actually kill anything. Helena's gonna heal it all back. Helena just doesn't really have the AoE damage here. Especially with buff about to run out. Shadow Raid is available again since it got clocked. Will it kill this Helena? Ugh. Probably not. Angels are so incredibly bulky. Angels with Helena exclusive. Yeesh. Suppose there's a chance that it kills. There's not really any reason not to go for it. Tree Sage loses his swordsmith yet again. Yeah, there's the attempt, but it's not enough. And it hurts the Helena. It means that Rosin has to heal the Helena before she can attack this Landius again. So it's definitely not irrelevant. Or Helena just ends her turn. That works too. Storm poking everyone a little bit more. But Danjay's going to fall behind in damage pretty quickly. She is holding center pretty well. So that is good. Hilda can't move up to block this turn, but Hilda could block next turn if she gets the chance. She won't though, because Himiko will take this tile. And it's going to be a 3v3 in the center. The issue is that Dark Knight just has such a high advantage in damage already. This Helena needs to somehow overcome that overcome all of this damage difference. Alright, there's 2 of the units that Dark Knight has chosen to keep alive, and there's 3. It's actually choosing not to keep the Landius alive. That's interesting. 3C should be up again. Yes, there it is. Danjay can just respond with Mass Crystal Healing, though. So Himiko's dead. Landius is going to start burning through his revives at this point. Unless Dark Knight starts sacking other units. He has to be careful about Hilda Ram as well, potentially knocking people into the fog and killing them. And if Landius goes all the way down, he does need to be concerned about just all his units getting killed by Helena. Eventually. There's not that many turns left, though. This one's gonna be close. As weird as it is that it's gonna be close, it's gonna be close. There's no Shadow Raid, there's no 3C. The Himiko's just dead, she can't do anything at all in the meantime. Tree Sage is actually gonna sack his first life. So that lets you bring Ares down to here, and then move Landius or Himiko in. Or you can go like Ares here, Leanna here, Landius here, so that he's guarding. Himiko can't get in though, because she doesn't have the move through units. She has to have hot, hot, hot going to get that. No, this Landius gets shut out, because if Ares moves here, then you bring Rosin up, and you shut the Landius out. You let the Himiko in, because the Himiko doesn't really matter. Yeah, this Landius is trapped. Dark Knight would have to sacrifice his Leanna to get out of this. If this Rosin just moves up here, the Landius is trapped. And you absolutely want the Landius trapped, because that means that that you have free kill on Ares, you have free kill on Leanna. Yep. Helena can actually kill all these units once this Landius dies. Act again the Ares. Just gonna try and get some damage dealt. If there's a 3C, which I guess there should be at this point, then I guess you can, yeah, you can like 3C from here and pull these units out. And then Dark Knight can try and get into the center. So that saves his Landius, probably saves his Himiko too. Yep, he can bring 2 units in before Danjay gets a turn, which means that Danjay can't get this Helena in. There is a Hilda Ram. And with that Landius positioning, you can ram the Landius out. So you ram the Landius out, he gets pushed to here, goes to 1 movement, and then he can't get back in, and then Helena can come in. So Danjay's not out of this yet. Oh no, he's displacement immune, that's right. Yeah, Danjay's out of this. Just kidding. Yep, there it is. It's on the passive. Landius does have that option. So this Helena is dead to fog, and then Danjay loses on damage. Wow. I really think Danjay had that one in the bag until Ares killed himself. Alright, I gotta leave. That is an unfortunate game 1. Also a boring game 1. Nothing happened until turn 9. Let's see if we get a slightly quicker game 2. or at least a more active game 2. Yeah, I mean, Dark Knight just played it very, very safely. And basically he was playing to react to Danjay going in. And Danjay just didn't go in because she didn't really need to. And then eventually made a mistake, got a unit killed for no reason, and that was all the advantage that Dark Knight needed. So I think Dark Knight played his comp correctly. I agree with that. I do think his comp was dead, though. I think if the Ares hadn't died on Danjay's side, I don't think Dark Knight was winning that game. So I would like to see Dark Knight adjust his pick ban a little bit. Try and get a comp that can actually do something other than just stand in one place and wait for your opponent to run into you. Alright, we see Deedwick come out, Elwyn come in, Rosa come out, Kruger come in. Hilda bans on both sides, so there's an immediate adjustment from Dark Knight. Gonna go ahead and get rid of the Hilda. We're not gonna have a Hilda Rosin stall game again. It's actually first pick Elwyn by Danjay. You saw Landius's Lancer. You saw that he has heavy Centurions built and is more than willing to bring them. I don't like this Elwyn pick. Because you don't do anything to this Landius. At all. Illustrial Ares get banned as well. And you can bring Jugler if you're Danjay. Bring Jugler, try and lock the Landius, and then get some kills with Elwyn. And that is what she's going to go for. Bans out the Elwyn on Dark Knight's side just to help keep this Jugler safe if the plan is in fact just jump onto Landius and then sit there. Bernhardt T-Jess both go down. Both amazing picks to go alongside an Elwyn. Leanna's the pickup from Dark Knight in response to his Rosin getting banned. Leanna player 2, very nice. That's just an extra free action. Especially against a Jugler, having an extra action is usually just a dead dog. If you have strong single target left, which he doesn't actually have any really strong single target available anymore. But if you can get 1 or 2 good single target units and an act again, you can very easily kill Jugler. No need for fancy setup. See Kruger pick from Danjay. It's okay against Leanna. It's not spectacular, but you know, it's better than versus Rosin, I suppose. Dark Knight bans out most of the rest of the AoE. There is still a Licorice, there is still an Aryan Road. So that could give Danjay quite a bit of AoE punch between, you know, whatever he picks of these two, Jugler and Kruger. That's a lot of AoEs coming in all at the same time. Mariel's going to be the pickup for Dark Knight, though, so he should have plenty of healing to deal with it. Right, there's so much healing available in Dark Knight spots. So he can pick up Licorice now. He can If he really, really wants to, he could pick up Flow, though that would be pretty bad at this point. Even Tree Sage can do some off healing with Gift of Eternal Life. It will be the Aryan Road for Danjay. There's not going to be any buffs for these units is the issue. Well, unless he gives up Flow Mass Attack, then there will be buffs. So I expect to see Flow picked, and then Flow bringing Mass Attack for these two. And herself, I suppose. And then that gives you 4 AoEs to throw out back to back. But again, there's so much healing here. Licorice would be really good at dealing with this. It's gonna be Bernhardt though. I suppose Burn can heal block. Heal block is a good way to deal with Jugler. Alright, heal blocking the entire team makes Himiko a little bit more useful against a Jugler. Makes a Licorice a little bit more useful. It gives you a buff for Flow if you do get to pick Flow, which double act again as player 2 is unreasonably strong. Single act again is already really, really good as player 2. Double act again, especially with Bernhardt here so they can continually double act again. You can't afford to give that up as Danjay. You will lose to that. That would just be so much value that Dark Knight gets that you can't answer. Yeah, so Flow does get banned. That still leaves open the Licorice if he wants more healing. Tree Sage, also not a bad answer. Right, Tree Sage will slow down the Jugler, slow down the Elwyn. Could slow down the Kruger, depending on troop choice. It will be Tree Sage. So I think I like Dark Knight's team more in this game. Danjay has a plan for what she wants to do. Right? Throw out a bunch of AoEs, lock down the Landius, kill things with Elwyn. Kill things with Elwyn, kill things with the AoE damage coming out. But I think Dark Knight has the tools to just completely deny all of that from happening, right? If Jugler jumps on your Landius, you just knock him off with Mariel, and then your Landius isn't locked, and then the Elwyn's not doing anything again. You take an AoE or two, and then you heal up with Leanna, and you're actually, you're completely fine from the rest of the AoEs. There's only so many of them that are going to be coming your direction. Right? If you can just weather all the AoEs, then you're fine. I think he has what he needs to just tank them all. So I think once again Dark Knight's going to be playing very reactively, like he was last game, where he's really waiting on Danjay to engage and then responding to that. But I think this game he has a much, much better comp for it. He has a better comp and he's against a better comp for doing that. So I think Danjay's really going to struggle here to get anything meaningful done. Going right down to the timer again. Alright, here we go. Hope everyone has the skills they wanted. Ooh, we see a Holy Aryan Road. Don't see those very often anymore. That's a... what? Swordsmith? Overlord? What is that? That looks like Swordsmith. That's Swordsmith. That's Swordsmith. Why would you run a Swordsmith on your Aryan Road? Oh. And then, of course, the Swordsmith Tree Sage. All kinds of weird swordsmiths. Bernhard is not boots. I wonder what accessory this Bernhard is then. Ooh, he actually brought Shield Bash. Huh. Really? You want Shield Bash over Sword Dance? I guess there is a Blood Pact there. That's really unnecessarily early. You get the immunities, I suppose, but man, did you not need to do that. Does it reset one turn as she goes in, 2 turns as she does this? I guess it does reset, doesn't it? That still seems bizarre to do that just for 2 random immunities. I guess it can help keep evil debuffs off. Maybe it makes some degree of sense. Here's the Plushy Gospel. Oh, random immunities kept the debuffs off of Melandius. Or no, they tried to go onto Mariel. There's no way they kept them off Melandius. Yeah, I tried to go onto Mariel, so the random immunities did absolutely nothing. There's still 6 debuffs. This is... Ooh, it's only 5-star Kruger. So the Kruger damage is actually not where it needs to be. Sorks as well is going to struggle against Tree Sage. Ugh. Amazon's on the Mariel, so Elwyn can't even hurt her, even if he could find an angle on her. Elwyn could kill the Leanna, but that's basically it. Bernhard is hard to kill with Elwyn. Steel mains are so incredibly good. There was one CSDL game that we already saw where I believe it was KU's Bernhard that just kind of completely walled an Elwyn out and won the game. So that was on a fort. There are plenty of forts available though. Oh, I mean, Dark Knight's pretty far up, so Danjay can start taking some free hits here. Start building up Aryan Road. And start building up Aryan Road stacks. You know, throw out Dark Dragon Breath or Everdark Abyss on this entire team. Or maybe not build up any Aryan Road stacks. So we could see Danjay start doing some things at the start of this next turn. Yep, there's the mass attack. Rushed onto the Aryan Road. I don't know if that actually does anything. And you can get to here, sure. Like, why do you care about getting to there? To either of these spots. I guess you can 3-seed the team from 0 stacks, 1400 attack. That's not going to do anything. You won't get killed for it, sure. Alright, is Kruger going to start us off? Check for maybe some kind of mobility down on this Landius to let Elwyn in. Oh, Aryan Road goes first. What? Well, that's Grand Cross, I guess. I guess he was checking to see if he could dispel, or she was checking to see if she could dispel the guard effect on this Landius, maybe. Didn't get it though. Mariel just takes her extra action in order to heal everyone up off of talent. Basically no damage dealt there. Well, that's the first AoE down. Kruger's still available. Jugler's available. Low is available. Here comes Kruger. Is he going to step out of guard for this, or is he just... Ooh, that's a really good Tenyos. Does that Tenyos let him get the Landius? Just barely not. He's one away. Yeah, he comes up one tile shy of locking this Landius with that Tenyos Breeze. So do you step forward and hit the entire team here and run the risk of dying to Bernhardt, which you probably will? Oh, he sure does. That should be dead to Bernhardt. 1180 attack. Maybe not. He did strip the attack buff there. Landis has still held on to guard the entire time. There's one heal block, mobility down, not on the person he wanted it on. I do think Bernhardt fails this kill. If he goes for either of these, I believe he's going to fail. Just because he lost his attack buff. So he lost his attack buff. He's not got his full moon stats if he was full moon. I can't remember. Steel mains are still really good. There's a chance that like shield bash onto Kruger and steel mains will still pick it up. Nope, it's going to be Tree Sage 3C. Pushes back, keeps the Jugler a little bit further away. It's really hard for Kruger to get anything done now, since he is flyer mobility, because he didn't bring Warlocks. Warlocks would have been very, very nice on this Kruger. Although actually, that 3C actually does open up... No, I'm counting Jugler tiles wrong. Yeah, it just barely keeps Landius safe from Jugler. Elwyn. I guess nothing here kills the Elwyn, and except for an act again, Mario will kill the Elwyn, probably. Blood Shield. No damage. He actually would have gotten some pretty good damage on the Landius without Blood Shield. He would have killed the heavies, and he would have done... Probably would have put the Landius to about 50%. This Elwyn's not really safe here, though. I suppose you could jump with the Jugler to cover him. Mariel can't actually hit you. And she doesn't have Enduring Faith. You should have God King's Aegis back, though. So she would have the option to double skill if she wants it. It's also Act Again available from Flow here by throwing 3C out. Aryan Road with King's Crown could try for a kill on Landius. If you were to go like jump, 3C, act again, Aryan Road hit, nah, it wouldn't be enough. Oh, there's the stun onto the Jugler. So now this Jugler needs to get healed to get the stun removed. So there's 3C. Who gets the act again? It's not Kruger. Kruger doesn't do anything with it. I mean, it has to be Aryan Road. This Bernhardt is out of guard right now. The Landius will have to step... Oh my... It's Kruger. And Kruger can come here. 1, 2... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess he does hit most of the team like that. Mariel. I don't think Mariel's going to kill this Elwyn. Maybe Amazons will get it done. So the question is, do you let your Elwyn get hit twice here, or do you jump onto the city wall, splash the Mariel with a little bit of extra damage, and then deny your own revive and get hit by the Mariel after guard? Right, she'll hit the Jugler, get her 3C effect, and then she can hit you. Or if you think you live both hits, then you can just jump with Kruger now. Nah, it's going to be a jump by the Jugler. That's actually a good middle ground. Zach guards his Aryan Road, will guard the Kruger when he moves up. You still get the damage onto this Mariel, but you don't block your own revive. So that's a pretty good middle ground, yeah. Now you're threatening a kill on Leanna with Kruger. Mariel's actually just going to heal. Yeah. Because you were definitely threatening to kill this Leanna. Not really killing anything else here. Mobility down on the Landius, though he's already not guarding, so it doesn't really matter. So now this Elwyn's able to hit Bernhardt here. Mariel's mobility is pretty much crippled by this water terrain. So you could probably just get a free kill on Bernhardt here. You'd be doing it from Fort, so it might not actually be enough. Steelmaids might be able to block you out. Is there passive block? Ah, there's passive block though. So Mariel drops. Yeah, passive block on the Landius means that he's not guarding at all. So that's definitely the correct kill, because that was the only thing that threatened this Elwyn. So now Elwyn gets to run free. Aryan Road too. Nothing can kill this Aryan Road either. Exorcists are going to be way too bulky. Bernhardt gets all his damage denied by having Steel Mains. Can actually just basic attack into this Bernhardt. With Aryan Road, that'll probably pick him up. Ah, no, you won't get the kill. Beast Shock Leanna, no. Not against Shrines. Passive block is gone on Landius, so if Landius steps up, he'll be guarding again. And there we go. Here's an Aryan Road bonk. Just kind of push them around. Delete almost the entirety of these steel mains. Good old holy advantage coming in. The Leanna's out of guard, but she's not in a position to get killed. So all these units for Dark Knight will be able to just easily walk back into guard at the start of the next turn. That's not really a threat. Tenuous Breeze on the person who can't move. Yep. Getting some chip on Landius. It's another passive block. It'll just get healed by the Leanna though. Leanna can just step up and heal it. Because turn priority is going to go to Dark Knight. As obnoxious as it is, that passive block doesn't matter. Ooh, that Leanna's... Is that Leanna dead? That Leanna's dead. Because you go strengthen here and then dart through with Aryan Road. That should be a... It should be a kill on this Leanna. "3C will be available next turn as well now. For even more AoE. Which is going to hurt a lot more once this Leanna goes down. Ooh, I think you needed mass attack to do this. Yeah, that's not enough. Actually, mass attack wouldn't have been enough either. There's Landius Guard. So the Leanna has to start the turn by healing herself, which means that you get a free Kruger 3C. For Danjay. And Dark Knight's... He's sustaining this AoE set pretty well. But I don't see how he breaks out of it. Bernhardt could get it done if he could get a free hit in on the Jugler, but he's not going to be able to do that because Leanna has to heal herself or she dies. Maybe you can gamble on gift healing being enough there. Here we go. So here comes another Kruger 3C. Probably mass attack first, just to get all the damage you can out of it. But you might not want to wait and let Bernhardt get a free hit on you at full HP. I would say Aryan Road's dangerously close to getting locked in the fog, but it's Aryan Road and she has 9 movement. So that's not actually a thing. Ooh, Leanna gospels herself as opposed to healing. Alright, Bernhardt's full HP, no attack debuffs. This is the most damage you're going to get to stick onto this Jugler. Kruger's going to have his other skills available fairly soon as well. Okay, leading off with the Tree Sage. So the question is, as Danjay, do you heal here? And then take a full hit from Bernhardt? Go drop a lot of HP down? And then try and survive the next turn, because turn priority is going to go back to Dark Knight. So this Jugler is going to get hit twice in a row. You might need to gamble on Jugler not dying here and maybe 3C with Kruger. If you have Dark Ward, then the Jugler is safe. Without Dark Ward, you're going to need some good debuffs from Kruger to shut down this Bernhardt. Okay, there we go. Dark Ward is available. Jugler doesn't die. Easy. Problem solved. Silence as well, so you don't even have to worry about getting... Ooh, silence and passive block. No, just kidding. Just silence. But silence means that you don't have to worry about getting stunned on the Jugler either. Dispelled, the damage up is pretty helpful. Heal block here. Nothing here because you didn't get the gospel. Is that another passive block? It sure is. This one doesn't matter so much though. It means there's no revive on the Landius. But it would take a lot of damage to kill this Landius before he has a chance to get rid of passive block. Elwyn's just wasting time waiting for Rain of Glory Sword Soul to be available again. And now Bernhardt has to try. But he just can't. Ooh, Blood Sword. I don't think we saw that in the last game. Was there a Bernhardt? There wasn't a Bernhardt in the last game. We haven't seen that yet. Lots of Blood Sword triggers, but now it's just heal, and then all of that was for naught. Didn't dispel water, didn't dispel the guard effect either, so it's not going to get any better from here. Arian Rhodes just running around trying to reset. Yep, clock. None of that damage particularly matters, though. Wonder why Kruger didn't throw out Evil Overwhelming this turn. Oh, he doesn't have it. He only hit 4 people. That would be an excellent reason why. Does Bernhardt reach that Kruger? Well, he doesn't want it if he can. Once again, no water dispelled. Jugler just barely lives it. even with all the fixed damage coming through. And there's just not any damage to hit the Jugler other than this Bernhardt. It has to be Bernhardt just trying over and over again, but he's just not getting there. Could be act again Bernhardt and do it again. That might be enough. Sure enough, here we go. If there's an AoE from Aryan Road, though, to knock these steel mains down, then there's absolutely no chance of this Jugler dying. Uh-oh, Jugler's out of water now. That might be a dead dog. I think that's a dead dog. I think he's gonna finally break through. Yeah, that's enough. There needed to be another AoE available, but I don't think there was. Maybe Aryan Road could have hit into the Landius, dropped herself below 70%, reset, and then gotten an AoE off. That was really the only way that you were coming out of that. Yeah, Blood Shield. That's a lot of damage, though. And so now it's too late, even if you have an AoE available. You needed this before your Jugler died to kill off these steel mains. He's gonna push the Bernhardt down. Landius can't guard everyone. He has to either give up the Leanna or the Bernhardt. Just kidding, he can guard everyone. I'm blind. Yeah, then that should be the end of the game. There shouldn't be any way that Danjay comes back into this. Because turn priority is going to go to Dark Knight, and someone dies. Maybe multiple people. Blood Shield again. I think this Landius is Blood Shielded every time that he's been attacked. Sure feels like that. Yeah, that's going to be GG. Aryan Road goes down. There should be a Dark Dragon's Breath available on the Kruger, but you can only do it from this fort. And someone dies to Bernhardt, and then... ability down on the wrong target again. Has to block the Landius for like the third time or something. But he still has guard. And down goes the Kruger. And that's going to be it. That's a 2-0 for Dark Knight. So a couple of very slow games. We played 2 games and that was almost 2 hours. But yeah, first game, I think Danjay had a very good comp and made a pretty unfortunate mistake that lost her the game. Second game, Dark Knight had a very good setup to deal with what Danjay had brought. Danjay needed a lot of luck in the second game on Kruger converting debuffs, or converting the right buffs, Aryan Road 3C dispelling the right buffs, not getting blood shielded every time that she attacked the Landius. And so just a lot of things went wrong in that second game. But Dark Knight definitely had a very good comp to deal with what Danjay was bringing. So that will be... yeah, I really hate this kind of match. It was a slow one. But that will be it for this. So I will see you guys later.